Greetings, brothers and sisters. We got to a late start. Nonetheless, we're here. I like to always be on time because I know that to be ahead of time is on time, and to be on time is late. So nonetheless, we're here. We made it, and we're able to talk about it. Talk about this self-hatred that we have amongst Muslims. Same thing that we've been fighting against. Same thing we've been fighting against much of our lives. Ever since we come here into slavery, we've been fighting this self-hate. So we have these things certainly to fight against. To fight against the way we feel about ourselves, the way we feel about our true neighbors. And I said our true neighbors, you know what I'm talking about. Because our true neighbors, brothers and sisters, are those that look something like us. These are our true neighbors. Those that look like us, those that are experiencing the very things that we are experiencing. These are our true neighbors. And we have to learn to love ourselves and not be ashamed of where we come from. Now, brothers and sisters, I want to apologize for not getting a chance to shave the third time. This is why you see a slight shadow on my face, or fork-like shadow, as they say, on my face. And we'll get beyond that. I want to apologize to you for not being properly shaved at this time. But I definitely have to shave 3 times a day. And this is some news that, as I told you, that I just really discovered just a few weeks ago, a month ago. And but nonetheless, I'm still neat enough to come before you and tell you the truth and talk about truth. I'm able to do that. So you and I today are going to be discussing self-love and being thankful for the skin that we're in. You and I. That's the thing that we're going to be doing today. And I think it's very important because we have brothers and sisters that are slipping back into this color, what can we call it? This color blindness, or this color fascination, that believes that anything close to white is right and anything close to black is bad. And we can't allow ourselves to slip back into this type of thinking, brothers and sisters, because it's not healthy for us. We can't do it. And this is an old philosophy. This self-hate is an old philosophy. It's nothing new. And I want to talk to you about that because we have to learn to love ourselves. This is our job. God has called us. He's called us to love ourselves. This is our job. If we don't love ourselves, then we're not able to witness to other brothers and sisters that are out there who don't know how to love themselves. So, brothers and sisters, we have a job to do. We got a heavy job to do, and there's no getting around it. There's no getting around it. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. And so, you and I have to really set a lot of foundations. We've got to dismiss a lot of miseducation. We got to reteach. We got to reteach. You and I have to reteach self-love and black power. And black love, excuse me. so that our people will know how to love themselves and will respect themselves enough to know how to do something for themselves in the time that we're in. That's what you and I have to do. And there's no getting around it. There's no getting around it. We're going to have to do that. So we've got some breakthrough to happen. We got a lot of breakthrough. And we'll have to keep coming before the people. We'll have to keep coming before the people to lay down this truth. So it means that we're going to be active every day. And the last talk that we'll have to sum up what we're dealing with today will be the assassination of Sister Betty X and the assassination of Mr. Coretta Scott King. The last thing that we cover. Excuse me. And why is this important? It's important because we need to know what we're up against. And that if they would do this to green trees, with those that are in the movement, if they would do it to Jesus and do it to green trees, what would they do to brown trees? That's what you and I have to ask ourselves. We're sitting in a situation today where the fight to keep white right is going on right under our noses. It's not going on because you anticipate that it's time for you to stand. You have no alternative than to stand. Because these white folks, and they showed you when they broke into the Capitol. Broke into the Capitol building on January the 6th, 2021. They showed you what they thought of liberty, what they thought of justice, and what they thought of freedom. And so we have to discuss it today. We don't have a choice. We have no alternative than to discuss it today because our very lives on the line, you and I, have to come together as black people. We've got to come together because our very lives depend on it. Our very lives depend on it. And the federal government, if you don't believe that they're watching you, and if you don't believe that the federal government has eyes on you from every place, brothers and sisters, you're sadly mistaken. But not only do they have eyes on you, but they're sending out these young white militias that are shooting you and I up in the stores, in the church, in the mosque, no matter where we are, public places and the private places, they're killing us. They're shooting you and I, shooting us down. So my desire, my prayer is to educate over 30 days, is to educate our brothers and our sisters, to keep you on a strict regimen of education. And after you have been thoroughly educated upon the wiles of the devil, doesn't the good book says, be aware of the wiles of Satan? And when you become aware of the wiles of the devil, then you can maneuver very quickly and you will understand. You will understand what your course must be and the course that you must take. And there's no getting around it. You're going to have a race war, whether you like it or not. This powder keg of black people can spurn anywhere. And the powder keg of a racial explosion is more powerful than a megaton bomb. More powerful than any torpedo that could be dropped on your house. Is more powerful than any detonation that could take out over half of America, because a racial explosion can't be controlled. You don't even know where it's coming from. And when it hits you, you may not even know where you're going. if you don't have a plan. If you, my brother and sister, don't have a plan, then you'll never know. One of the things that I like about rage when it is black is the fact that there's so much of it that you could use all the rage within you, and just to see someone else's discontention or see someone else's contention would inflame you again to ask, what must I do to save my community? And what must my community do to be saved? Brothers and sisters, we are being killed on every hand. Every hand. Every hand. And you wonder why I point out the individuals that are responsible for this death and responsible for these small levels of death. I point them out because, again, as I said it before, the white man would never put anyone over you that he can't control. He'll never do it. So this is the thing that you and I, as individuals, must be concerned about. Because you must admit, brothers and sisters, that the white man who's been in control and blacks that have followed the lead of whites that have been in control have misused power to the point that they've become drunken with power, and they've misused the process to the point that they become drunken with the misrepresentation of the very laws or the Constitution that the white man says. And you know we can't trust his word. That the white man says that if we practice, if we follow, it would take care of our local areas all the way up to our national areas. This is what the white man says. The Constitution of the United States, if followed, represent every man. That the Constitution of the United States, if followed, can heal these problems that we're having inside of our nation. That's what he says. And that this Constitution and its preamble that says, we the people of the United States, in order to join a more perfect union, to establish justice, and you know black people ain't got no justice, and domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, to secure the blessings of our liberties to ourselves and our prosperities, we do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. They do ordain it and establish the Constitution. Now, not that it's any surprise to you, but I'll say it anyway. While they was ordaining this Constitution of the United States of America, you and I were still slaves. That's saying a lot, ain't it? That's saying a lot. That you and I were still slaves. So, the question I ask for you tonight is, when has America, from the founding of the Constitution, from the Declaration of Independence, ever recognized the black man as equals? And when you have the answer to that, you'll understand why his coons are so dangerous. Because if the white man's purpose is to keep you oppressed and keep you in slavery, and the coon is working for the purpose of the white man in his house, in his business, in his car, on his yard, or in his bedroom, then you'll know that that black man that sees the white man as some kind of God is going to do whatever it takes. You gotta hear me, brothers and sisters. To satisfy that white man. He'll do it. Peace, Sister Donna. Glad to see you. And so we have to understand that. Now, I know the title of our lesson is Buttermilk Colored Muslims and Self-Hate within Louis Farrakhan's FOI. And I intend to prove it to you. I intend to prove it. I don't have anything against light-skinned brothers or light-skinned people. I don't have anything against it because I know that they're black. My only contention is that they don't know that they're black. And because they don't know that they're black, then they're a danger to you and I. And I say that because it's the white man who's drawn the color line, and If our brothers and sisters don't know that they're black, and the white man has drawn the color line, then them identifying with him as white mean that they're going to do whatever it takes to make him trust into them as they are somewhat closer to white. And the whole sickness of the matter is that the white man that's been preaching racism think that the light-skinned man is a nigger and the dark man is a nigger. He don't make no distinction. Because to him, a nigger is a nigger is a nigger is a nigger. Just like to those of us that know better, we know that a cracker is a cracker is a cracker is a cracker. And you ask any Muslims, they'll tell you a devil is a devil is a devil is a devil. If you're talking to a real Muslim. And that's the question. The question is, do we recognize who's standing before us? Do we recognize it? You could see a leader out in front of you all you want. You could see them. They could be right out in front of you doing the dirt they do and coming back, to your community. And you could see that. But unless you know the moves of that leader, you can't be instrumental in shutting them down. Incidentally, you will be building them up. But once you learn their moves and you understand who they are as leaders, you will begin to tear them down. And that's the thing. I know that many of these series is on Minister Louis Farrakhan. I understand that, brothers and sisters. But all I want to tell you is that he is the main demigod, devil, and satanic patron saint that keep us down because he serves this white man. Or if I could only get you to see that he was a plant from the beginning. Or if I could only get you to see. Now, this self-hatred thing transformed itself into this new ideology under Minister Farrakhan, version of the Nation of Islam. I hope you're with me. Because his version of the Nation of Islam is not Elijah's version of the Nation of Islam. And Elijah didn't teach self-hate, he taught self-love. Is that right, brothers and sisters? So you and I have to love, because by love all men shall know that we are following him who has sent us, or by love all men shall know that ye are my disciples. Isn't that what the word says? Isn't that what the word says? And so any shepherd, any shepherd knows his own sheep. Isn't that right? And any shepherd is going to protect his sheep. Any shepherd is going to protect his sheep. So, brothers and sisters, what I'm telling you today is good shepherds protect their sheep. Good shepherd. He calls good because he'll leave the 99, or rather leave the 99 and save that one sheep to complete it, to make the flock 100. Not because he want to make it 100, but he's concerned about all of his followers or students. He's concerned about their past, and he's concerned about their present, and he's concerned about their future. He's concerned because he knows that they won't always be around. Isn't that right? Jesus said to James and John, the sons of Zebedee, and he also said to the other 10 disciples that, lo, I'm with you always, even until the end of the world. But he also prepared them when he says, I am here, but one day I will go. Isn't that right? But for this cause was I born, and to this end came I into the world. Isn't that what Jesus said? Jesus was talking to his disciples because he was trying to appeal to them to have gratuity and self-love for where they come from. And in a sense, while he was teaching the ministry, it was really a fight for Jerusalem and also Palestine. I'm going somewhere with this because I'm going to attach it to our subject, but it's important that we build a perfect and solid foundation because we got to raise somebody from a dead level to a live one so that they're standing in a straight perpendicular line where they're able to get that knowledge from heaven on high, right? Pour it down into heaven on earth, right here, and then it goes down into the spirit where there are many members but one body. I hope you're with me, brothers and sisters. And so you and I have to get to the place, you and I have to get to the place where we're teaching this because it's very much a part of our culture, it's a part of our moral ways, it's a part of our foreways, it's a part of our morals, it's a part of our teaching, right? No matter whether you're Christian or Muslim, the Decalogue is important because the first thing it teaches you to do is to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and strength. And then it says thy neighbor as thyself. Isn't that right? But before I can love you, I have to first of all learn how to love myself. Brothers and sisters, don't forget to thumbs up, like, and subscribe, please. And we appreciate all your participation. And so, in loving myself, I have to be acceptant of everything that I am. I have to understand where it comes from, why it is here, why it was put here, and what the end goal of the person that put it in me. Let me be plainer. When you and I came here on the slave ship, we came on the Pinta, we came on the Santa Maria, and whatever the other name of that slave ship was, you and I were coming here as slaves in this land that we would come in, right, where the white man had killed out the earlier inhabitants, raise us up in an area where we were to farm, to raise money for that white man, to take care of his house, to even wipe his behind, raise his children, and also build up one of the biggest dynasties that we have across the world. There's no place on earth like America, literally today. Because America has white racism, white privilege, white capitalism. They have it. Isn't that right? And this white Americanism is equivalent to racism and white privilege work together so that they're able to oppress, isn't that right, everybody else that's non-white, which include black, red, brown, and yellow people. We have to understand that. And in the light that these things are evident, because it's evident today, brothers and sisters, more evident today than anything we ever had is racism in the world today. But what I want you to know is that some people haven't gotten the word. They haven't even gotten the memo that the fall of America is evident and adamant today, and that the white man is losing all that he has. And in the light of him losing everything that he has to put somebody else in charge. Let's look. And this person have to have enough self-hatred to do the will of the one that sent him, right? Who's taught us how to hate ourselves to such a degree that we get wigs to have hair like the white man, that we get eyelashes to have hair like the white man. This is what we get. We get his brand of clothing, to have clothes like the white man. Whatever we do, we even bleach our skin to have skin like the white man, and we even cook our heads. That's right, brothers and sisters. That's right. We even cook our heads to have hair like the white man. And all of this, whether you know it or not, are versions of self-hate in the black community. And we hate ourselves so much. And before us is a desire to be like the white man so much So all we have to do is see somebody with straight hair, and we'll say that they have good hair. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? We'll swear up and down that they got good hair. So if having straight hair or having a curly straight grade of hair means that we have good hair, then that means that nappy hair, or hair that we call nappy hair, or African-centered hair, means that that's bad hair. Where do we get that from? The whole fact that straight hair on a black man's head is good hair, and that wavy curly hair is good hair, and the tint of the hair is good hair, and we have black hair, is considered bad hair. Where do we get that from? We get it from self-hate. Isn't that right? We have brothers and sisters that are tanning, right? In reverse. That's what I like to say, tanning in reverse. So they are trying to get light skin. They're trying to look like the white man. Isn't that right? They're trying to look like the white man because they have self-hatred that is taught in this country on such low levels, and they start teaching you this as children so that you'll be able to worship the white man, right, for your skin color. And the message is that if you're white, you're right. If you're bright or light, you're almost white. If you're brown, you can stick around. But if you're black, stay back. Why do they say this, brothers and sisters? They say it because they don't want you to have any positive aspect of Africa and what Africa is. So if they teach that, in order to keep it in front of you, they've got to start out in deductive reasoning and show you at the height a white man. And then under that white man will have to be a mulatto. Right? Because we say man, we mean man and woman, or male and female. Then under that mulatto will have to be now a light-skinned person. Right? They're black, but they're light-skinned. And then under that will have to be the term fair-skinned. Isn't that right? And then under that would have to be the brown-skinned brother, sister. And then after that comes the black people. So if you got self-hatred on each of those levels, all the way down to brown, and say if you brown, stick around, but if you black, stay back. But everybody else, come with me. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? I want you to know that this philosophy trickles down to everyone that upholds the white man as a major figure for American justice. Anyone that holds the white man as a major figure for success, if they hold him as the standard of success, in the sense that they will listen to him and fulfill his basic desire in their church, in their community, their library, their schools, right? And even in their neighborhood, then this person is a traitor, right, to their race, because they're an advocate for white nationalism. And I want you to know that. This is very important. It's very, very, very important. If you haven't heard anything else in your life, this is very, very, very important. So, brothers and sisters, in the Nation of Islam, right, under the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the darker you are, the more blessed you are. That it was holy. Isn't that right? That it was holy. Your color was holy. The melanin in your skin was holy, right? Isn't that right? And your intelligence is desired above all beasts. Your science is a number one science, right? To the point that we could tell the square inches of the globe and why and where every black person, right, on the globe is located. So we have the intelligence of our science, the intelligence of our sociology and spiritualism and spiritual system. Isn't that right? As black people, we had that, right? Until the white man came and enslaved us and began to teach us his system of superiority, his system of racism, his system of discrimination, and his system of hatred, right? And self-hatred, right, is hating all things black and loving all things that are white. Is that right or wrong? So, brothers and sisters, we have to be understanding of where we are, who we are, and how we got here. We got to be understanding of that. And that if we don't understand it in this late dating age, that we'll finish as far as being true revolutionaries. We'll finish. Now, if Elijah Muhammad is teaching this truth, and you have a minister that comes along that begins to speak self-hatred, then what is that minister going to teach? If he is worshiping the white man, whether he be Muslim, whether he be Christian, whether he be Baha'i faith, whether he be a Hebrew Israelite or Mauricelm Temples of America, whatever it is, he will start teaching the philosophy of what he desires most or who he respects the most. And for this, for all intents and purposes, he will start teaching self-hate of black people and worshiping the white man. Have you ever heard black people say, we just ain't gonna act right, we won't come together, but they'll praise white people all day? Have you ever heard that, brothers and sisters? They do it because they are under this illusion that all white is right and all bad is black. And this is a direct teaching of the white man. A direct teaching. So, brothers and sisters, we have to beware and be aware of what the white man teaches. In his school, he teaches this. In his home, he teaches this. He teaches it in his church. Now, I know there's some brothers and sisters right now that saying he's kicked his gourd. This guy is off. He's saying that the white man is teaching this in the church, and I've been to some white churches, and I don't believe they teach that. I've never heard them teach it. And that's true. That's true. They've never heard him teach it because they don't want to hear him teach it. But white people teach white nationalism, and their church is the first thing they establish in any land they take over, and we taught them that because we taught him how important religion is to us. Why do you think the white man changed us over to being Christian as soon as he got us here on this new land? Talk to me, brothers and sisters. Because if he could teach you about a religion that is white, something that he took away and stole from you, polished it up and dunked it in the history of bleach and lies, and sold it to you as a righteous religion, and then after that, when he tell you about the savior of that religion, this was the exception to white men. Isn't that right? You following, brothers and sisters? Then he could teach you that everything that you studied was bad and everything that he studied was good. Isn't that right? And so this goes between black Muslims and black Christians. I said it goes between black Muslims and black Christians. You have black Muslims that are teaching white nationalism, just like you got black Christians that are teaching white nationalism. If you don't believe that, I'll prove it. The Muslim under Minister Farrakhan teaches white nationalism anytime you begin to make excuses for white people saying that they can be atoned. I want you to understand what happened with Minister Farrakhan as he marched from the dead feet of Lincoln to the dead feet of Washington. I want you to understand what the Justice or Else movement was all about. We were going to have one of the worst race riots in 1994 and 1995 that you ever seen in your life. Because the whites that had been killing us were being slowed down by this great brother named Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. All praises be to Allah God. Dr. Khalid, as we called him, were rallying the troops to be able to face and fight the Ku Klux Klan, the Aryan Nation, and all white racist factors that were dangerous to black people's rise because he had studied history. Dr. Khalid Muhammad, who was the national representative under Minister Louis Farrakhan in Farrakhan's Nation of Islam, had began to complain that black Muslims were being seen in the company of white people. I know it, brothers and sisters, because I was there. And there are many others that know it. But at the same time, Farrakhan was trying to make or take a more moderate stand, right, in his version of the Nation of Islam. So in 1985, 10 years before the move of the Justice or Else campaign, Louis Farrakhan began to say that white people will someday be allowed in the Nation of Islam. Brothers and sisters, all you got to do is research this, and you'll find out that the brother is not in error. And so I worked under Dr. Khalid in those days, and I saw him battling and baffled by what the minister said. He said it at the night meeting to Muslim leaders. He said it during the service meeting, the Sunday service meeting. He was preparing them to accept and not to judge white people on the things that they had done in the past. Now, brothers and sisters, I want you to hear me. If you had a bully in school that's been bullying you all your life, I mean, literally your entire life, and this bully one day was picking with you, and you had gotten so tired that you decided to fight back, and the bully that is picking with you will tell you to leave everything else behind when you know that this bully, the first chance they get, is going to beat you down. What would you do, brothers and sisters? You know that the only answer that you have is to beat the hell out of that bully or even kill him if need be. But Farrakhan wanted us, peace, brother M5, Farrakhan wanted us to forget the evil that the white man had done. Brothers and sisters, I wasn't ready to do that. Dr. Khalid wasn't ready to do that. Steve Coakley wasn't even a Muslim, even though he was familiar with Minister Farrakhan and had talked and spoke with Minister Farrakhan. He wasn't even a Muslim, and he wasn't prepared to do that. And you know something wrong when the Christian is not ready to forgive them devils. And so Khalid had a problem with that. Dr. Khalid had a problem with that. I'll never forget it. Because I was brought in the nation by Dr. Khalid 1986. And I will begin speaking at that campaign in that place in 1986. I will begin speaking. I appreciate that, brother. I'm definitely going to try to work on one. Welcome, brother Hard Rock Truth. And I couldn't accept that. I came in 1986 and heard the minister talking about these things on Phil Donahue and other places. Brothers and sisters, I couldn't accept that. And I began to question Dr. Minister Khalid. And Minister Khalid locked me up in attention for about 4 hours. I'll never forget it. He even told me to relax my knees anytime I felt like that I was feeling faint, but I was going to stand at attention for 4 hours. And he straightened me out, lecturing me the entire time, lecturing me on what it meant to be a soldier and how I would have to carry out an evolution. And many times that meant that I would understand what I was doing and that everything that I felt didn't necessarily have to be spoken if I was standing as a minister and student and follower of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Notice, he said a minister, a student, and follower of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Not Farrakhan, but Elijah Muhammad. So Dr. Khalid would be talking to the minister about this heresy, this foolishness, about announcing that someday white people would be allowed in the Nation of Islam. Brothers and sisters, I wish you could have been there. Dr. Khalid would be talking to the minister and telling him that he never read that. He never read the most honorable Elijah Muhammad ever saying that in front of people. And the minister would be trying to rationalize with Khalid. But Dr. Khalid, in his love for black people, would not accept being mealy-mouthed. He would not accept tiptoeing through the tulips. He would not accept being hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, or run amok, not even by Minister Farrakhan. And so when this happened, Dr. Khalid began to question many of the things that happened to Minister Malcolm. Brothers and sisters, and I would ask him about the minister often. And I would say possibly the minister is going senile to say that one day that white people will be able to come into the Nation of Islam. Brothers and sisters, this began to rock me from the head of my sole of my head, or rather the crown of my head to the sole of my feet. And there was nothing that I could do. It seemed like the sister is ready, brothers and sisters. It seemed like the sister is ready to come before us. There was nothing that I could do to shake this out of my head. Nothing that I could do. And I began to talk to Dr. Khalid about it and said, Dr. Khalid, I'm wrestling with this, and brother, it's hard to shake. And Dr. Khalid sent me to reread the message to the black man. And I'll never forget it. He said, your answers are in there. This is the mind of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, if you don't read it in here, you don't do it. And brothers and sisters, I never forget that as time progressed, it was like a rift. However slight, we began to see the rift between the most honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Dr. Khalid Muhammad, to the point that Minister Farrakhan was literally moving himself away from Dr. Khalid from 1986, from the time that I was in, all the way to 1993. And by the time we got to 1992, 93, the minister began to make funny moves. You know what I mean, brothers and sisters. He began to make these funny moves. He began to make these spooky moves. You couldn't explain it and you couldn't understand it, but you knew something was going on, because around this time he started visiting Father Pfleger, and Father Pfleger started visiting him, and he even began to come in certain bounds of the temple. I'm telling you what I know, brothers and sisters, and I hope you're listening. Don't forget to thumbs up and like and subscribe, brothers and sisters, and make comments, thumb down if you have to. Just be participant. And it rocked me to my core. And when Dr. Khalid finished talking to me, I had a clear understanding of what was going on. But he said that no Muslim would ever be welcome in his temple. No matter where he was, he didn't care what Farrakhan taught, but he wouldn't welcome any Muslim any place where he was teaching. And that if they happened to come in by chance, he wasn't going to change nothing. He was going to still put fire on their behind and talk about racism and the devilish white man, because he had examples to point to, and he would preach harder and smarter about everything the white man had done to the black man. And brothers and sisters, it was a strange time, because in this rift, we could see that the minister started having Dr. Khalid to go out less and less. And at this place that he went was at King's College. That's where the walls came tumbling down. And brothers and sisters, it was one of the most awesome speeches that I ever seen Dr. Khalid speak in my life. But he was defending the minister. He was defending the minister. I say again, if you go back and watch the speech he did at King College, he was defending the minister, and the minister's reward for him defending him and talking against Catholic devils and European devils and Christian devils, the minister's reward for that was to demote Dr. Khalid, as we knew it from his speaking post. And brothers and sisters, I'm going to save a little bit of that for when I come back after the sister. Our sister is ready to come before us. Sister, you ready? Our sister is ready to come before us, and I'm going to let her in so she can give us the knowledge that she has. Brothers and sisters, I know we're in for a treat, because she was just talking to me earlier, and I know she has something to put out before you, and I'm so thankful and thank Allah God for her, because she's so precious and so knowledgeable. And brothers and sisters, she ain't bad on the eyes for such a little fellow like me, and I'm so thankful that she cared enough for me and loved me enough to make me feel like such a man and to stand by my side. Brothers and sisters, if you please, we bring before you Sister Joanna X. Sister Joanna X will be coming before you. That'll be the next voice that you'll hear. Excuse me.
Greetings of peace, love, and enlightenment. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you're doing well today. All right. How you doing, Donna? How you doing? All right. So I did a live earlier today, and I was talking about making sure we as sisters are holding the gate. Just want to speak to us as a people in general, about making sure that we are uplifting one another, and making sure that we have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to disrespect and abuse in our community. Okay, when it comes to one another, we got to make sure that we're standing up and we're speaking out against abuse and disrespect. Okay, and all those things that are going to bring us down as a whole and as individuals as well. All right. And this is really important for us, because we live in a nation where we're still in an oppressive situation. We are still in an oppressive situation. So a lot of us are dealing with mental illness, which, some people call it post-traumatic slave syndrome or Stockholm syndrome. But a lot of our people are still dealing with a lot of mental issues in regards to being in this oppressive nation, and not dealing with the reality of it all. And that being said, we have to protect one another. We have to love one another. We have to be there for one another. We have to support one another. Okay. And you have to be the one that's holding the gate and making sure that nobody around you ever feels comfortable disrespecting anyone that looks like you. You understand me? Especially my Black sisters. Make sure that nobody feels comfortable disrespecting other Black women around you. Okay? We should never stand for that. I don't care whether they're male or female. Don't you feel any kind of way about checking somebody about your sisters, okay? Don't you feel any kind of way about checking somebody for your sisters. We as Black women, we want to feel safe. Okay, we need safe spaces. All right, and we need to provide those safe spaces not only for ourselves, okay, but we're looking to you as well, brothers, to help create and maintain safe spaces for us. That's going to help you earn our respect, our love, and our respect. We want to know that we're going to be protected. We want to know that we're going to be safe. Okay, if you do it for anybody, you should do it for your sisters. It doesn't matter if they need training. It doesn't matter. Nobody is liberated and then fights for liberation. Okay, we have to fight for liberation. We have to fight for our freedom. You have to fight for the freedom of those that are sitting around you in your space. If you go to work, you have to fight for the freedom of those that are around you. Do you understand me? And you do that by what you say. You do that by what you allow to occur around you as well. Okay. um and we as sisters, of course, we got to do better at respecting one another and making sure we don't allow brothers to disrespect other women around us, even in private. Even in private, it does not make you more valuable for a brother to feel comfortable to tell you something bad about another sister. You shouldn't stand for it, okay? Not if it's disrespectful, okay, or abusive. You shouldn't stand for it, all right? And I just wanted to say that to you today. And I know we're all fighting out here, fighting for freedom. All right, fighting for our respect, fighting for our dignity. All right, fighting for our future. Okay, and our future starts with our children. The future starts with our children. Okay, so let's start back with birth. And very quickly, just gonna let you all know, I do teach a free birth class. Please, and the free birth class is open to all persons. My free birth class is open to all persons. All right, male, female, all races. Is open to all races and all persons. Okay, so understand that. Okay, don't let sisters, don't let anybody else outdo you getting in this free birth class. Okay, because the class is meant for you. The class is meant for you. So be there. Be there for yourself. Okay, and also, if you can't afford the class, at least get the book so you can equip yourself to be competent in giving birth and making sure your children aren't coming out at it with a disadvantage, but with an advantage. And make sure that you're not vulnerable in the hospitals, because they're killing our sisters in the hospitals. They're killing our babies in the hospitals. And you can find more information about this at my nonprofit's website, which is www.thebirthguru.org. And I'm gonna drop that link right there in the chat for you. Thebirthguru.org is in the live chat. If you're watching the recording, just click the live chat button and you'll be able to see the live chat. You'll see the link there, thebirthguru.org. All right. And you can find more information about the infant and maternal mortality rates. That means how many Black babies and Black mamas are dying even in your state on that website. I have the links there available for you. If you want to educate yourself, the information is there. Because we have to be the front line. We have to hold the line where we are in whatever state you are in. Make sure you're sharing the information so people know not to go in there if they don't have to go in there, and know that they have alternatives. They have options. Okay. Because we do have options and we can do for ourselves. If we want to do for ourselves, we can do for ourselves. And it's very important for our men to be there at the births of their children, to be the first one to lay hands on your child. Okay. Yes, to transfer your energy into your child, your consciousness, your thoughts, your love. Okay. Because we can't expect for people to just grow up and grow into respecting the Black man. When the baby comes out, you got to be there, brother. You got to be there. You got to be there with your child. You got to be there with your baby. All right. There should be no other authority there. You should be the highest authority there at your child's birth. Unless it's an emergency situation, or there's a health unhealthy situation going on where somebody has to be at the hospital. And yes, you can do it, and you can do it competently, and you can do it safely. And I'm out here teaching this information so that you can know what to do. Okay, because it can be done. All right. And sisters, we need to take our power back. You shouldn't have no white man staring down your legs. Unless it's an emergency. No reason for that. All right. So go get your book, sign up for the class. The class starts July. The class starts next month. Less than a month away. So go ahead and get in there, get in for the class. Go ahead and register. All right. If you can't afford the class, go ahead and get the book. All right. And yes, I do sell it in PDF format as well. You can find it on the birthguru.org. You can find the book on the website. Okay. Also, you'll see on the website our virtual homeschool co-op. All right. Because we also should be teaching our own babies. Okay. You cannot. I just had a conversation the other day with a woman, a beautiful woman here running for mayor. And we sit with mayors, we sit with governors, potential governors, we sit with potential senates, we sit with lawyers, we sit with judges. We have to start thinking about political power, social power, economic power. That's where we are right now. We've been physically liberated, but there's a whole lot more liberation that needs to be done right now. Okay. And that starts at birth. It starts with educating our own children. Okay. And then it just goes on from there. But we can't forget those very important places, because then you wonder why your children grow up and they don't understand. They don't understand. They have a whole different ideology that's not true, that puts their lives in danger, and you don't understand why. Okay, it's because you're not teaching your children. Somebody else is teaching your children. Okay, and this is a mistake. This is a grave, grave mistake. Okay, there's but so much you can do if your children's sitting with somebody else for 8 to 12 hours a day. Okay. That means that person has your child's mind for 8 to 12 hours a day. Okay, so you have to understand that this is an error. This is a grave mistake that you're making. Your child is not safe. At any time, somebody could walk in that building and take your children out, and you're not there to protect them. At any moment, someone can do anything to your child. You're not there to protect them. It's wonderful that you can stand up after the fact. We can march, we can riot, demand people be fired or whatever. But where were you? You understand? Because after the fact, it's a little late. Okay, after the fact is a little late when it can be prevented. So we need to be thinking about how we can fight offensively. Okay, and fighting offensively means to prevent. Okay, to prevent things from occurring. So we need to be thinking about prevention. Okay, not attending to emergencies and traumatic events all the time when things can be prevented. Number one, things can be prevented if our men are armed. It can be prevented if we stay out of their hospitals, if we stay out of their schools. Okay, yeah, we can build our own hospitals. There are black hospitals. There were black hospitals. There used to be plenty of black hospitals. There used to be plenty of black schools. Okay, but y'all wanted to integrate. Okay, and that came with some consequences. So now we see what the consequences are. We don't have to keep making the same mistakes. Okay, we don't have to keep making the same mistakes. We learn from our mistakes and we move on. We grow and we move on. Okay, we don't want to stay stuck there. Okay, we don't have to stay stuck there. We can keep growing and moving on. But anyway, the virtual homeschool co-op is free. All you have to do is teach class. All right, and the support is there. If you need homeschool coaching, the support group is there for you. We are here for you. All right. Also, you'll see on the website we are raising funds for our homeschool co-op as well. We're asking everybody to donate a minimum of $5 for a candy bar. It is milk chocolate. The ingredients are very simple: sugar, cocoa butter, chocolate liquor, whole milk powder, soy lecithin, and vanilla extract. No chocolate. It's not healthy, but everybody loves chocolate. Don't we all love chocolate? And I know you probably eat chocolate, so don't you tell that story. All right. So get you some chocolate. All right. If you don't want the chocolate, you can still donate. We ask for a minimum $5. All right, to go to our homeschool co-op. This is going to help us to afford our field trips, as well as technology that is needed to enhance our classrooms. All right. Also, once you're a part of the co-op, you can actually you can actually purchase your own candy bars at a very minimum rate and sell them yourself in your neighborhoods or what have you, so that you can actually raise funds for your very own homeschool right there where you are, and keep those funds and put it towards whatever you want to buy for your own children. All right, so that's another perk to being a part of the co-op, is that is there for you to take advantage of. And also as well, just go ahead. He loves for me to talk about my music and do my music. I'm not playing anything tonight. But speaking of music, I just want to give a shout out to Beyonce for her new song, You Can't Break My Soul. I know, all right, a lot of people don't understand. Beyonce is very conscious. I think she very much is following us in our videos, and she's right in there with us, you guys. Okay, so I think that's a very powerful song that she has. You Can't Break My Soul. Play it, play it, play it, play it. Keep yourself encouraged. All right, if you're one of those people that needs to go ahead and jump out there and start doing for self, running your own business, you have the skills, you have the supplies that you need, and you still need the encouragement to stop living in fear and actually live your dream and go out there and put your energy and your time into your own business. Let that be an encouragement to you. Okay, I want to encourage you right now to put your time and energy into yourself, into your family, into your community, into your own people. Okay, do that. If any of you need jobs, you want to work from home, you can contact us directly, and I will give you that information. You can email your resume to babymoddyllc@gmail.com. I just put that in the live chat. You can email me your resume. I'm hiring people for sales and customer service. All right. Sales and customer service. You can make good money. Okay, I'm not going to put it out on the web, based on your experience. Okay, and I will talk to you more about it once you send me your email, your resume, and it's a decent resume. Okay, be professional, and I will give you a call for an interview. All right. And let's see. My music. Check out my music. Okay. Definitely do that. I appreciate your support. I'm still trying to get, because they took all our equipment before in the mobile clinic that supposedly my husband sold his own clinic. And they told him in order for him to dismiss it that he had to agree not to sue, which he did not do. He didn't agree not to sue, but they still had to dismiss it anyway. But our lawyer did jump ship. They spooked him. He jumped ship. So, we have not been able to sue like we need to sue in order to get our equipment and things back. So I'm still recovering from that, trying to make sure I get all the instruments and recording equipment that I need to go ahead and really put some music back out there. But I do have an album on my website, not the nonprofit website, my personal website, goddessnotnew.com. If you want to go listen, you can go listen, watch the YouTube videos with my music, or you can go ahead and get the album that I've made already as well. I think you all will really enjoy it. You can sample it on YouTube and buy it. All right, if you want that, if you like to listen to music, go ahead and do that. And check out that Beyonce song I told you about. Check it out. Why not? Right. Also, Tobey has a new song out too that I think really represents us. Another brother that I feel like we have a lot of kinship. All right. So check out Tobey's new song. What's the name of that song? Round Here. It's called Round Here. No, I'm talking about Round Here. Okay. Check that one out. Round Here. All right. Goes right in line with what Brother Minister is often talking about. Okay, and I think that's all that I have for you today. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Brother Minister want me to keep talking a little bit more. So, that being said, so we want to make sure that we support our brothers and our sisters, because what we need is economic power. We need economic liberation, and we are not going to obtain that as a people if we're not supporting one another and we're not all focused on our own businesses and our own trades. So I want to encourage you to share your business information. Make sure you're networking with your people, okay, so that you can be independent and you're not slaving for the white man day in and day out, because none of us needs to be doing that, okay? And it's time to stop stop that. It's time to invest in your own business and your own products. Or if you are going to go work for one of your brothers or your sisters. Okay, so we're keeping our black dollars in the black community. Okay, and make sure that your mind is set on reparations. Okay, because these people wouldn't have what they have if we didn't give it to them. Okay, and we didn't enslave, and we wouldn't be suffering like we're suffering now if they didn't go out of their way to destroy everything that we have built, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all of the great cities and nations that we have built, that they've come in and gentrified, et cetera, et cetera. So they owe us. They owe us big time. And we need to be talking about reparations. We want reparations now. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be ready to fight for it. All right. We need to be ready to fight for it for our children. It's not just about us. It's not just about you. So you got to hold the gate where you are. You got to hold the line where you are so our children can have better. They deserve better. Our children deserve better. Okay, and they're not going to have better if we don't give them better. Okay, we have to do that for them. We have to think beyond ourselves, and even on a spiritual note, when it comes to holding the line or holding the gate and making sure that we're standing strong where we are, making sure things don't get through. We have to work on ourselves, make sure you're healing yourselves and dealing with the different things that you have to deal with within yourself. Okay, so that it doesn't affect the next person, so that it doesn't affect your children. And that comes down to genetic misinformation as well, that a lot of us are dealing with. Okay, we have to make sure that we are taking time to meditate. I want each of you to make sure that you are meditating each and every day. Yes, 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 absolutely. You need to take time to meditate, go into a deep trance state, and deal with the misinformation that is there in your psyche. Okay, to reprogram yourself, get into doing affirmations. Okay, absolutely get into doing affirmations and things of that sort, so you can reprogram yourself. Okay, and speak to yourself. Black power, absolutely. All of those things that need to be spoken to yourself. And that's very unique to everybody. If you need somebody to check out your energy body and your aura, and to help you to pinpoint those areas of those issues that you may have crystallized within your energy body and things like that, I'm there. Go to that website, goddessnanu.com. Request your free initial consultation. You get one free consultation. Okay, and I will do that for you. I'll be more than happy. Make sure you put in the notes exactly what you're looking for in that first consultation. So that we don't waste any time. Okay, you get 30 minutes. And so we don't waste any time. Put in the notes what you're looking for. And, that way we can go ahead. I can know exactly what this consultation is for, because I do a lot of different things you'll see on my website. And that way we can get you taken care of. All right. Yeah, let's do that. I know y'all want to talk a little bit more about, this genetic misinformation. And we're not tapped into creation like we should be as people of the earth. Okay, because we're from here. Okay, we're made of this earth, we're made of this air, we're made of this water, we're made of the sun. Okay, unlike melanin recessive people. So we really, in order to connect to our creator as best to our greatest potential, really do have to connect into nature and really take some time to observe nature. And, it will really show us how we're out of whack in a lot of ways. And a lot of people don't understand that a lot of what you're dealing with, even a lot of what you believe, have to do with those who have come before you. A lot of what you fight against, sometimes you may be experiencing emotions and thoughts, that is even controversial to what your actual conscious beliefs are. And a lot of times it has to do with genetic misinformation, as well as programming, what things you're watching, hearing, and whatever's in your environment every day as well. But also that genetic information that has to be misinformation that has to be dealt with as well. And just to give you an example of that, there are several animals on the planet who, they lay their eggs and they travel thousands of miles away, and those babies will hatch just freshly on the planet, will find their parents, will go to where their parents are, know exactly where to go, know exactly where to travel for the rest of their life. Some of them, even if they never see their parents again. And that is because the information has been passed down through the DNA. And all creatures on the earth pass down information through DNA. Even the trees pass on information through DNA to the other trees, and to the through the fungus and to all the other plants. Okay, so everything on the planet works like this. So we have to understand nature so we can understand ourselves. And I know I probably then took this to a whole nother place. Didn't want to derail from whatever you were talking about today. But I appreciate you all hearing me out. Hopefully you can take something that I said and apply it to your life. And love you all. Thank you for watching. Peace, love, and light.
All praises be to Allah, brothers and sisters, and we thank our sister for coming before us. I'm so thankful, again, to have a sister that is powerful and believing in the teachings. All praises due to Allah, because everybody doesn't believe in the teaching. But I'm so thankful to have a sister that believes in the teaching and believe that we're in a fight for our lives, brothers and sisters. This is a fact. And so we put forward these things that we have. As you see, we have the candy bar. For those that are donating, it's a great treat. You know, just to say how sweet you are, how sweet it is to donate to a worthy cause, And nonetheless, we're going to keep coming before you, and we're trusting God more than anyone else. More than anyone else, we're trusting God, because we need God. And we need God to show up for us in all the areas of our lives, brothers and sisters. It has to be God to show up. And if we don't have God to show up for us, what will we do and where will we be? As the old folks used to say, if it had not been for the Lord on our side, tell me where would we be? So, brothers and sisters, we are discussing, and we were discussing and are discussing our disposition in a place that we were brought. We didn't ask to come, but we were brought here. When you and I were brought here, we weren't brought here to be equal. When you and I were brought here, we weren't brought here to be glorified, but we were brought here to work and to have to contribute free labor to an enterprise where we would not even enjoy nor inherit any of that investment. And this teaching of white nationalism, brothers and sisters, have really crept into the houses of black people. And the only way it can creep in is that it come in through us. So Dr. Khalid, brother, when he saw the minister in the Nation of Islam practicing the very thing that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said not to practice, then you begin to see the fall of the organization under Louis Farrakhan. I say again, Farrakhan's version of Islam is fallen. But the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is constantly growing, and the membership of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is constantly growing, because that following, that lost and found nation of Islam, is receiving direct teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. What am I telling you? The Farrakhan's version of the Nation of Islam is not the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what I'm telling you. Dr. Khalid was challenging Minister Farrakhan on these teachings that he was ridiculing, and Farrakhan began to feel some kind of way about it. You know how the kids say, he began to feel some kind of way. That Dr. Khalid would question him and demand answers for this heresy that he had been teaching black people who were trying to escape this kind of liberalism, the kind of integration, the kind of sexism, the kind of homosexuality and lesbianism that was being taught amongst our people from devils, demons straight from the pits of hell, from their lying father, who is the father of all liars. You guessed it, nothing but an old pale thing, that white man that I'm talking about, the white devil. That white devil. And brothers and sisters, it's important that you know that Farrakhan in and I know I'm going over this constantly because I want you to know it. You have to know it. That Farrakhan in 1986, 85, 86, was teaching this. And you began to see white people come inside the nation. Now, ironically enough, around the same time, Dr. Khaled began to complain about Muslims being around women who appeared to be white. Brothers and sisters, you know how these white devils do. You know how they do. They'll say that they're black, even use man-tan, just like Rachel, the girl that was over the NAACP, and will lie, cheat, and steal. Talking about rights that you and I have never received. And there they are exercising it. And you know, the truth will always be uncovered. I don't care what time you're in, what the date is, the truth will always be uncovered. And so Dr. Khaled began to tell us about this. These white Muslims coming in the nation and how they were trying to usurp the Nation of Islam. Take control, get post of power. Now, if you look, and many of the black Muslims that are out there have seen it. Many have seen it. If you look, you will find that there are Muslims today that are in posts that many of them were born in 1981 to 1985 when Farrakhan was making this subtle change. Because remember, his whole work is to destroy the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm was never as important as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm was a tool that expressed and spreaded the philosophies of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but Malcolm was not the clear target. It was Muhammad who was the target each time. Each time. And we're going to talk about this later on, but listen, in the time that we have left, if you remember Minister Malcolm and his relationship as an orator with a man named Alfred B. Cleave. Albert B. Cleage, who was over the Black Shrine of Madonna. If you look at this Black Shrine of Madonna, that was in Detroit, that was in New York, that was in South Carolina, and he also had one in Chicago, I believe, and several other places. But this teaching of the Black Shrine was Black Christian nationalism, BCN, that set Black Christians on the stage to push and preach nationalism as the only design to get them out of integration. So what we're going through is nothing new. Minister Malcolm spoke at that temple December of 1964 when he said his clothes had been singed. And he gave honor and praise to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad for his teachings and all that he was and the things that he learned. Brothers and sisters, it's one of the best speeches that you see in your life. Also, at the same place, in February the 14th, 1965, 5 days, 7 days before he was assassinated, Minister Malcolm X also made the same claim. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him to put out the fires that had started and come back into the Nation of Islam. I want you to know that. He will not be serving at the high post, but he will still be a teacher and still lecturing to bring brothers and sisters in that have been out in the civil rights movement where they saw there was no results. So brothers and sisters, this teaching is important. Now, we talked about it before, and we'll mention it hundreds of times again, that Wallace Waradeen Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan and other agents within the movement began to talk, excuse me, brothers and sisters, for shaking the screen, began to talk about this, the domestic life of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which was not a violation of the religion. Understand this. Wasn't a violation of the religion. Was no violation. And we can get on that on another day. But the whole purpose was to distort the image of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachings, and to put Malcolm in the middle. After that, Louis Farrakhan drug back, stepped away from Minister Malcolm, and him and Wallace Waradeen Muhammad continued the confusion. And after that, John Ali, the National Press Secretary, was also an FBI agent and CIA informant, continued the madness, so much so that Minister Malcolm said that he was his arch enemy in the Nation of Islam, and he was driving the intimate web or division between Minister Malcolm and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. When Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad found out about it, he told them not to touch Minister Malcolm, don't lay a hand on him or finger on him, because he was going to bring him back into the Nation of Islam. And if you'll listen to the demon, Louis Farrakhan, the false prophet of the nation, you will hear him admit this himself. So, in order to, if you have a black organization that is teaching black nationalism, the way that you're going to change it is that you begin to teach white nationalism, and you have to teach it in lower forms, in small doses. And I told you that Minister Farrakhan teaches white nationalism. If you look at his posts, and remember what I told you about the white man's color line, which is white on top, mulatto after that, then bright, then light skin, then fair skin, then brown skin, then shades of brown, then black. Right? If you're white, you're right. If you're bright, you're okay too. If you're black, if you're brown, stick around. If you're black, stay back. So he was teaching white nationalism and had set up on his post. All you have to do is look and see it. Look and see it. Brothers and sisters, on all of Minister Farrakhan's posts, with the exception of a few, you see light-skinned, buttermilk-colored Muslims. Light-skinned, buttermilk-colored Muslims. And he put them there as he's telling his Muslims that Father Flagler is his friend. So if Father Flagler is his friend, that means anybody they look at to be exceptional and white becomes an influence over the Nation of Islam, psychologically speaking, sociologically speaking, and mentally speaking. And so it changes the concept from black nationalism to all-inclusive white nationalism. And you have to use your mind to see that, brothers and sisters, because you and I today watch fake and phonies in the black nationalist networks that are working for white people to kill everything black. And why should you feel that we should be any different than those when the white man had come to Africa? Because there was those that were so distant from loving themselves and appreciating themselves that they began to worship the white man. And that's what you see black brothers and sisters doing today. Even when you look over into Africa, we in the war, when the race war take off, when the race war finally come, we'll have to end up killing some Africans too. We'll have to end up killing some coons, black coons. And the reason why, brothers and sisters, is because they're going to be killing you to keep the white man in power. That's the reason why. And I lie to you not, brothers and sisters. There are black people that will kill you to keep the white man in charge. And it's a shame. Don't you know that that's a black man that's out of his mind? A black man that will kill you to keep your oppressor in charge? The oppressor that's killing you? The oppressor that's damaging you economically, educationally, socially, and otherwise? The white man who's interrupting your religious teaching and fellowship? These devils, you have black coons that fight for these devils to keep them alive, to keep them in charge. And they will kill you so that this white man can be in charge. This city that we're in, I know a black Christian preacher, a light-skinned black Christian preacher, I'm saying it, who worship white folks and worship his color, who's colorblind, who don't like any dark people. Come on, brothers and sisters, talk to me. You know that there are some people out there that you know that like white people so much till they can't stand being black. And this black brother, misguided brother, help the white mayor get into his mayoral seat. Help the white mayor get into his mayoral seat. And this white mayor has caused more trouble in this city than any of the white mayors that have been in office stacked together. Because these devils, don't you know that's what they are? Devils that are torturers of this planet, killers of all things good, destroyers of all peace, stealers, and will rob and kill you for no reason. Sometimes they say they don't even know why they do it. I know why they do it. Because ain't nothing good and nothing white. Don't forget the thumbs up, brothers and sisters. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, subscribe, and like. So that we can keep the participation of this channel and go forward with this ministry of black liberation theology. Because that's what we need. You don't need white nationalism. You don't even need the white man. You don't need him. You know what you need? You need black people standing with you, and you don't need very many to start out in that ministry of reteaching black folks how to love themselves, teaching them how to invest in themselves, invest in your leaders, and stand up in your community in the liberty that you're free, because you're going to take it, and it says the righteous shall take it by force. So that you and I, brothers and sisters, if we would take what God has already given us, if you'll take it, then God is able. Peace, brother minister. You're right. That's exactly where I am. That God will take it, what he's given you, and bless us if we only turn our eyes to God. If we only begin to worship and serve our God, God will take us to such a height. He will take us to such a height where we'll be able to bring in this new world where black people will be in power. The white man is losing everything. He's losing it, brothers and sisters. Our plight is to take power. It's to take power. Don't be bound, brothers and sisters. Don't be bound. We don't want to be bound by this teaching that oppresses us like Christianity, white Christianity. Now, if you're teaching black Christianity and black liberation theology, then that's a fighting religion. That's a good religion. That's a powerful religion because that religion looks like you. But anytime you got a black a preacher with a white Jesus on the wall, he teaches white nationalism. Anytime you got a black Muslim so-called leader who are running around telling people that a white Catholic Christian priest, a pedophile, is his friend, he is teaching white nationalism and encouraging pedophilia in our community. And brothers and sisters, we can't stand for that. So Dr. Khaled, when he was put out of the nation, he even said, I pray and I hope that Minister Farrakhan and the move that he's making, this color code, and the funny steps that he's taking in moving me down from my post, it's just the plot so that he can get one over on the white man. But brothers and sisters, as Dr. Khaled continued, he realized that Farrakhan had sold out. It's the truth. It's the truth. And we got to teach this. We got to teach it, brothers and sisters, that Farrakhan has sold out to the white man, and he has integrated the white man into the nation of Islam. And that's why you see leaders now in the nation, Wesley and Nuri included, that are now teaching that white people can come in the nation and that white people are our neighbors. My God, false teaching and false preaching and a derailed ministry that will slaughter millions of black people, if not billions. Didn't Farrakhan tell you that the white man is trying to cull 2.5 billion people? Well, brothers and sisters, if he knows this, why would he follow a devil that is already killing our community? And why would he not arm our black brothers and sisters with battle gear to fight these devils today? My God. And to put up that Spanish dude, like our brother, our sister Donna says. What's his name? Brother Abraham. Even calling him Brother Abraham. My God. A Mexican devil who will turn on us the first chance he gets. Turn on Minister Farrakhan the first chance he gets, and is used by the white man. My God. To turn against our people. To turn against our people and to mislead them. And don't you know that any black person with any sense, whether they be Muslim or Christian, know that the Mexican can't be trusted? I say he can't be trusted, brothers and sisters. But this is the dangerous road that Farrakhan is leading us under, and it's because of a color code. Every minister he has up from Ishmael and Abraham, all of them are married to white women. Abraham is a white Mexican. You don't hear me, brothers and sisters. Don't forget the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, brothers and sisters. Hit those thumbs. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. But don't you know that these are white people that he brought in the nation? And if your minister is married to a white she-devil, my God, why do you think the mind of the teacher is? You don't hear me, brothers and sisters. I said if the minister is married to a white she-devil, how can he fight against the devils that are coming to him? And if you got little devils born from she-devils, you just put them in danger too. Because brothers and sisters, we've got to stand like we've never stood before, and we got to speak truth, and we got to put up some fight behind it today. Don't you know a little Mexican devil went down in the school of Texas, Uvalde, Texas, and shot up children there that were black, white, and Mexican? Don't you know that the Mexican is no different than the white man? That he's the white man's brother? Killing our people and betraying them? Don't you know that it was in Mexico that Malcolm Shabazz, the son of Kabila Shabazz and the grandson of Minister Malcolm X, was killed in Mexico? Brothers and sisters, do your research. Do your research on these devils. Was killed, sister, was killed in Mexico. Malcolm Shabazz, the grandson of Minister Malcolm X, was killed in Mexico as he was down there to help the Mexicans fight for a better salary. Brothers and sisters, had he not went to those devils, our brother would be alive today. But the CIA and FBI set up that trap to kill our young brother. My God. And I was sad and wept because I met that young brother and he was on his way to be a major fighter for black people. And don't you know God raised him up to do that? And in his life, he told us the story of Minister Farrakhan and how wayward he was. You listen to his aunts and his mother and Sister Betty. They told you how dirty and twisted Minister Farrakhan was. And don't you know ain't no black man in his right mind gonna befriend a Roman Catholic pedophile that killed 2 young black boys? And that is common knowledge. Unless something's wrong, unless something in the milk ain't clean, unless something is going on in the mind of this black brother. And most of the time, brothers and sisters, I said most of the time, with few exceptions, anytime you see somebody going that way with some old nasty white man, then you need to pay close attention. Pay close attention to what else may follow. So we've got to stand up as black Muslims, black Christians, and black whatever we call ourselves, and teach this word of God, which is found in the Holy Quran, which is found in the Bible. When you know what to look for, you can find in the Old King James Version of the Bible, the Zondervan, all of these contributions that black authors made. Not the white King James, but the black King James. Brothers and sisters, we're going to talk about that too. So you will know the difference and know that this white devil comes to distort us socially and sexually and biologically and physiologically and physically and psychologically and mentally. And that if you would follow this devil, you're going into one of the biggest traps that you'll ever find, and you'll never come out of it. Because you see what the white man does to his friends. He kills his friend. You don't hear me. I said the white man kills his friends. He don't keep them alive, he kills them. And the only difference today than in the past is that we got black leaders that are readily selling out to this white man. And to show you how much thought the white man gives you, he will put a sellout rapper who won't make any money edgewise to put them in front of you during voting season or election time, and to have them to mislead the people on the knowledge of what is good for the nation and what's good for black people. Proof of which, if you look, now here Russia is at war with its own country. We shouldn't give two rat tails about what Russia is doing to destroy its own country. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? We shouldn't give a damn. Now, we should be hoping that every white veteran is going over there and that Vladimir Putin give them the business. That's what you and I should be hoping for. But brothers and sisters, you got people who are talking about this war, black people, talking about going and helping these devils over there. When the devil is killing the devil, why should you be concerned about that? But their eyes, because they've been distorted, because they have no vision, because they're blind, deaf, and dumb, they don't even know that the white man is their enemy. So what should you and I do, brothers and sisters? We have to keep teaching and keep reaching to get one, to teach one that you as a people are in oppression in a land that is not of your own. You can't even sing songs in this land of Zion because the Zionist is against you if you're black. And you have to know that the black man don't have any friends. You don't have any Jewish friends. You don't have any white friends. You don't have any Mexican friends. You don't have any native friends. You don't have any friends that are European. But everyone is your enemy. Anybody that's ever come where you are have only come to use and abuse you and take what you have. Proof of which, brothers and sisters, as we come to our close, if you look in Africa right now, you'll find out that anyone that is there in Africa is only there to make deals to rob Africa of its minerals. And they, just like they rob us of our talent, they rob Africa of their minerals. You look at the artists are becoming more conscious because many of them that have sold out, and I don't know of any successful artists who haven't sold out, including Beyonce, who's trying to get conscious now because she already knows what's coming. They understand what's going on. So I don't know any artists that haven't sold out, including Beyonce. But they're getting conscious and singing conscious songs now because they know that it's all coming down for the white man. And brothers and sisters, you look at the world and see their songs that they're singing. They'll tell you, they can't quite put their finger on it, but they know what's going to happen. And that's why we've got to love ourselves and do for ourselves. Because there's no pleasure in dying in a sinking ship. You hear what I said, brothers and sisters? I said there's no pleasure in dying in a sinking ship. And America is a sinking ship with no life reserve. And her captain is going down with her in the ship with no life reserve. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? Because they've been missing power so long that they're turning against one another. Now, why would you want to be in love with a race of backstabbers, devils, huh? And Satan or satanic people who only know evil, who only contributes evil, death, and don't know anything about being good. Brothers and sisters, we are about to be free, and we've got to be ready, willing, and waiting to take charge. We have to be ready, willing, and waiting to take charge when this nation crumbles all the way down. It's already crumbling. It's already falling, but we have to be ready to take the reins and build it up into the nation that God wants it to be. And all praises be to God that we're living in this powerful time where we can be used as his instrument in this day and time to bring about the promise. You don't have to sell out being a black Christian. You don't have to sell out being a black Muslim. And you need to be satisfied with the color that God has given you. My God. You have to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of God, which he has set in your heart and mind to lead the people back to salvation. My God. So that they'll be able to serve in an awesome and mighty way. Now, brothers and sisters, I've said all I can say, and I can't say anymore. Just remember that I come to you in peace, and I leave you in the same peace that God gives, that the world can't take away because they don't understand it. That we are being raised up in a time such as this so that God could descend in every shape, form, and fashion through the government that the black man set, which would be a government of peace. And if you're looking for God, just look in the mirror, and brothers and sisters, you will see God in full flesh, standing there in front of you, looking back and smiling back at you, because we are God, and we are God's handiwork, and we are the little God from the big God who he made in his image. Peace be unto you, and I say assalamu alaikum. Till we meet next time, brothers and sisters, peace be unto you.